Yeah, I've had some when we were doing the gigs. I've had some promoters thinking we were like some Satanists or something.
We don't work with Satanists, devil worshippers.
Like you're a devil worshipper, and then I kind of explained, and they were like, "Oh, okay, sorry about that."
Welcome back to Shotgun the Orcs podcast. It's Tom hosting solo again today in another quarantine edition of the show. Today we're joined by another special guest, repping Hellfire Corner. It's Folkestone's finest, Omus One, and his manager / DJ, Amanda. How are you guys doing?
We're doing really well. We're thriving.
That's
Things are going
good to hear, man.
well for us at the Hellfire camp at the moment. Got a lot going on.
Nice, man. So whereabouts are you recording from at the moment?
I feel a bit awkward to be called his manager because I feel like self-manage.
If it weren't for her, this woman saved my life. I got to say that. I was in a totally different place a couple of years ago. She totally saved my life.
That's nice, man. That's good to hear. So, like, confidant, mentor, manager, life coach, just general good person.
Yeah, I benefited as well. I was in a bit of a weird place, so
of course.
Yeah.
So, how are you guys doing during these kind of unprecedented times, all quite surreal? You mentioned you're making a lot of music, right?
I'm a hermit as it is. So I've been isolating for a long time anyway, so it wasn't much different for me. It is a little bit surreal. But the
biggest thing is probably not being able to go to studio when you want.
The studio thing wound me up because I couldn't get into the studio, and I don't have home studio because I don't like to do that. I like to be a bit diva-ish and go into the studio and have someone doing it.
Man. Like designated space and time.
Yeah. And also the live shows we were meant to be going to Malta. I had a gig in Malta. We were meant to be going to Italy, and that all went out the window. So that was a bit of a bummer, but it gave us time to get ready for next year. So we're going to be doing a lot of takeovers, Hellfire takeovers, because with us so far, there's myself, Filth Mitchell from Manchester, and OCD. Us three together are in a group called Four Flew Over, a little take on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Like that, man. Filth Mitchell's a sick name as well. I've got to shout it out.
Matt Murphy,
sorry. So there's Four Flew Over, and we've also got Anime, who was my old partner in Animated Spitters, releasing an EP. AB. So we've got.
And then there's a few people approaching us.
We're trying to keep it. We're trying to give as much attention to a smaller group of people at the moment.
Man.
Rather get mobbed and not be able.
So talking about kind of Hellfire Corner as like a concept, would you say like a label, a platform? How would you describe it?
It's a movement kind of. It started off as I had the idea years ago for my own label, and then I met Amanda and I said, let's just start the nights.
Start putting on the nights.
Start calling it Hellfire Corner. We were just promoting.
Well, I actually remember when I said, what should we call it? And you said Hellfire Corner, but then you explained to me what Hellfire Corner meant.
Hellfire Corner, basically, in the war, is what Folkestone and Dover was called because it was the most bombed and shelled area in the war. They could basically reach us from France with big-ass cannons. And anyway, I got the idea from that.
That makes me kind of ashamed of myself for not doing the research beforehand. Like,
do you know what?
Not a lot of people.
That's interesting, though. I like
people
that.
who live in Hellfire Corner don't even know it's called Hellfire Corner because Dover and Folkestone were Hellfire Corner, and when I've told people from Dover and Folkestone, they've thought.
Not a lot of people will know unless they're into their history and stuff, I suppose. But
really repping the ends, man. I really rate that, man.
But if you Google Hellfire Corner or even on YouTube, before you see any of our stuff, it brings up Dover being bombed.
I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
I mean, I've had some when we were doing the gigs. I've had some promoters thinking we were like some Satanists or something.
We don't work with Satanists, devil worshippers.
Like you're a devil worshipper, and then I kind of explained, and they were like, "Oh, okay, sorry about that. I've had some people go off on me."
I wouldn't even worry about it, to be honest. Like,
it was meant to be just a one-off gig, and then it got really that first show with Skinnyman. He headlined. It was such a good show that people were saying, "Oh, when are you going to do another one?" So then we did another one, and then after that we did a radio show. Somebody said, "Oh, you want to get on radio?" So we're like, because it's about creating a platform for Hellfire Corner MCs.
Yeah, basically, what I wanted to do really is build the brand to eventually come into a clothing brand. I want to do a Hellfire Corner as a clothing brand / label, build the brand, do everything, radio, gigs.
We did some workshops
clothing.
as
We
well.
did some workshops for
creative writing workshops.
Creative writing.
Oh, nice.
Stuff like that.
And then somebody gave us some money for mental health because she attended one of the gigs, and because it wasn't just the rappers. Because the one thing is there's a lot of in a lot of gigs that we go to, most of the crowds are MCs or producers. But at some of our Hellfire Corner gigs, it was actually people from the area coming, so potential fans rather than MCs. And then one lady came and said, "I can absolutely see how this is benefiting people's mental health." But when I moved to Folkestone, somebody told me there was an underground hip hop scene. I thought it was just Dan from Animated Spitters because he's sort of family. And then it was a way of, because there's no real gigs. I think Critical Troubadour used to put some on back in the day.
We used to have nights going on quite a lot, and it's a case of who can really be put the work in and be asked to do them. You know, they're a big thing. Sometimes you make a loss. Sometimes a bit of money. Like, well, we're putting the gigs, even if it weren't for COVID, we're putting the gigs on hold and concentrating on the label at the moment.
We were doing one gig every 2 months, and it got ridiculous.
It's consistent though, do you know what I mean? I respect that. I think it's interesting what you were saying as well, Amanda, about going to kind of, you know, underground hip hop nights. Like, the audience is kind of predominantly made up of kind of people involved in the scene, whether them being like rappers, producers
out, there'd be one guy in.
Yeah. And it's kind of like how to I guess how to kind of improve attendance and make sure that people are kind of open to it and attending more. Like, it's a weird one, isn't it? It is, because it's very tight knit in the UK hip hop scene.
Unless it's a bit like, obviously, when American artists come over, then they're attended by. But the UK hip hop scene, my experience of it is it's mainly MCs, and sometimes that can be detrimental because once they've brought their people and then they've performed earlier, then they might all go.
Yeah.
We've had that before. We've had
two headlining acts who were really good, and then by the time they were on, so
everyone left. And
not everyone, a large portion. They had to get the last train home, and it's just like kids these days, or people these days, they're really civilized. Because when I was that age, I'll sleep out on the beach if I need to, just so I can see the whole gig, you know. Or but people are, I've got to get the last train home.
But I guess it's why, like, speaking to a lot of people, especially in like the UK scene, like focusing a lot more on their kind of live performance and how to be like really innovative with it, bring something fresh to it. You know, like Dyke was doing with like the caravan on the stage and shit like that, and just things like that. How you can think, all right, okay, what's the cheapest, most effective way of?
We want to do when we can. We want to do a Hellfire Corner hip hop barbecue. We want to have like a barbecue, get load of big acts down, do it like a whole day event during the day. Charge someone like £10 entry, and they get like a burger, and then they get to watch that kid or their favourite rapper, and everyone will mingle, and it will be more of a, you know, not a festival, a one-day festival basically. I'm
down for that 100%. That sounds sick.
I think it was the last 3 gigs we had a graffle, so we had a live, like, there was a particular, I think he's going by Oops now, is it? Spray Ups.
A up.
Okay.
Act up.
A up. So he was out the back spraying, and at the end of the night, his raffle piece, his graffiti piece, has got raffled. I think he also coined that phrase, I believe, graffle. So I don't want to pretend that was us. And I won a couple of bits.
I haven't won one yet. Again.
Your time will come, man.
Oh, I won't buy a ticket.
Is it like mainly a like a hip hop label, Hellfire Corner, or do you have kind of like grime spitters on there as well? Is it just kind of?
I
would put a good grime MC on the label. It's like, you know, it's all mixing in together. It's now, I think, with UK hip hop, there's the sounds are mixing together. You're getting like trappy, grimy.
Yeah.
But on this next album of mine, DASHWUNG SHLUGGER, it's you know, it's a total mix. It's got so much flavour on it. It's not straight up boom bap.
Yeah, because I think you've seen, like, in terms of like your earlier projects and the kind of trajectory you've gone on, like your earlier stuff was kind of very like boom bap centric, and then like your Kangaroo Palace was kind of the King Bracket stuff. That was a little bit more kind of trappy, and your flow was a bit more skippy, and you could tell that you were kind of playing a bit around a bit more with stuff.
I started off as a grime MC when I was very, very young. I didn't even know there was a UK hip hop scene
until you heard Chester P.
Until I heard Chester P.
Actually,
yeah, man.
How do you know that?
I know my stuff, man.
There's also, remember when I played what was it, Pharaoh Munch, and then you said that you heard it first, Graph the Bus Up.
Yeah.
Which track was it?
Warblow or Graph the Bus Up?
It's Graph the Bus Up. But I've never heard Graph the Bus Up. So when I played it, he's just like, oh no.
So it was Chester P. Flowers, yeah, and then you kind of found your appreciation for UK, and did that just like open doors to the sound, or?
I used to MC, and I just thought, I can't be an MC because this is for guys from London. Like, you know, I was listening to Wiley and Mucky Wolfpack and
really OG grime heads, yeah.
I thought, I can't do this, and then I saw Chester P, and I thought, well, maybe I can do it. Maybe like guys like me can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So then I just started writing, and I think I've released that. I don't think there's been a year when I've not released an EP or an album since 2019. 2019. No, what about 2009?
Yeah, I was going to say, man.
Yeah, 2009. Yeah, jeez. Yeah. So I've been coming with it, obviously skipping on various labels, but now I just want to keep control of all my own stuff. So
that makes sense, man.
Yeah.
So after you kind of got into the UK hip hop stuff and thought it was almost like a revelation when you heard Chester P, were there any kind of other like standout important records for you that inspired you to do it?
I bought Councillor State of Mind. I went into HMV. I bought Councillor State of Mind and the Trim mixtape. What was it called? The one with Free Roach written all over it. I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, I bought that. That really stood out for me. And then I just getting into the whole scene, then Jest and the whole low life movement. That was my bag. I loved the whole low life thing.
Yeah.
Until it all went tits up down there.
Yeah, man. You hear a lot of kind of stories about, you know, obviously Brain Tax and various different artists and stuff, and everyone has kind of a different version of events, but ultimately it's kind of the same. I think just different artists treated a bit differently.
I think, and it happens a lot with independent labels.
Mm-hmm.
My experience, I don't want to cuss people out too much, but it's hard to not feel used sometimes.
That's exactly what I've heard from other people as well. Just saying, man.
I've from very bigger labels than us. I've heard artists say they regret signing the contract. And I certainly do sometimes regret signing some of the contracts.
I think that kind of stuff's always going to happen when money starts being made. When money starts being made, you soon find out.
Yeah, I guess as well. It's like
when you're early, you're always in it for the love, and
yeah, it's like almost like an element of naivety to it. When you're young and up and coming, you're like,
rich in exposure. I felt my exposure bank is busting. Like it's that, but no, I'm not traveling halfway across the country for a
free t-shirt,
a t-shirt and drugs anymore. It's not the one.
Yeah. Ultimately, I guess it comes down to like a decision, like, oh, can I do this like as a living? And it's like what I need to sacrifice to continue to do that and make it viable for myself.
Yeah.
And what other
that's
kind of
really difficult, I think, in hip hop, and especially with streaming and YouTube and stuff like that. It's really difficult. So I feel like it is about the love, and if we can keep that.
Well, yeah. The thing with Hellfire Corner, what I wanted to do as well, any artist I wanted to take on, I wanted to make sure they weren't treated like I have been treated in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone that's on board with us, I want to make sure they get,
we're transparent.
All of
everything's
laid out on the table. I'm not, when we've booked artists, we've always paid their travel. We've always looked after them.
The headliners.
No, and even the local boys we've done as well. Just making my experience benefit others and the ends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I really, really rate that. So it's almost like a code of conduct, isn't it? It's like this is our philosophy, our ethics as a label / platform, and it's nice that you want to kind of. I guess you've had a bad experience in the past, and you don't want others to go through that, especially some kind of up and coming youngsters who are hungry for it and might not necessarily have the know-how and the acumen. Do you know what I mean? And some
be the reason why a lot of people disappear. People go, "Oh, what happened to that guy?" And it's like it can be disheartening.
Yeah,
like,
they got fucked over. Yeah,
you get fucked over, and you just don't do it anymore. But luckily, I can't not write or be doing something. I like the whole process of doing it. I love the video. I like being in the studios. I like doing the videos. I love the whole process. That is what gives me my satisfaction. So if I can make some money out of it, that's a bonus for me.
Yeah, man. So what you obviously got into, you heard Chester P, you bought some UK hip hop. When did you first started kind of penning bars and developing your craft? Because you've been around for a long time, man, and it's
yeah, man. I wrote what was it going to be called? I can't remember. I wrote an album, and I realised that I didn't have enough material, so I brought in one of my friends, a family member of hers, Anime. And then my name, I started out as Mr. Spitter, when I was like 18, 19. So then we joined, his name was Anime, so we made it Animated Spitters.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when my pen game started getting better and better. And it's just got better over the years. I'm getting better all the time. Like it's not, I'm never taking a step back with my abilities as a writer and a performer.
Yeah, man.
I love to perform as well. I do love to perform.
When you and Anime are together, I think that you draw a different energy off each other as well.
When me and Anime are in the room, we're like, he is like my brother. We used to tell. I think before I even got signed to NSR, I think we done about 50 shows in and around Kent together.
That's crazy, man. I think there's a lot to be said for live performances, isn't there? Like especially like youngsters now, especially in like grime and drill and that kind of stuff, is like not too much in terms of stage presence because it's all on the internet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like anyone can spit some bars and upload them, but that kind of live performance, the energy, is kind of you can't really replicate it. Exactly, man.
Can't compare it.
Although there's one show, if you go to the Hellfire Corner SoundCloud page, you can get Anime. There's a show with you and Anime, and that's the first time I've ever.
Yeah, we do live sessions. We do.
Yeah. I've heard one. It's on like an hour kind of radio show with like all the kind of contemporary UK shit on, man. Yeah, I gave one a listen.
Wins come through.
We went all the way up and collected him.
Yeah, we went and collected Ramson, come down.
And that was like,
killed it.
we were with him for about 6 hours in the end, from driving down to London to collect him, bringing him back up.
Yeah.
Ramson's ridiculous, man. He's like still just his concepts and his bars and just his kind of, you know, his career, because he obviously kind of frames himself as a different character for each album. It kind of like widens the parameters for what he can rap about, you know what I mean? And the kind of like horror visuals and all of that stuff, the kind of like you know, the Friday the 13th type concept stuff. I'm a massive horror guy, so I appreciate that.
Yeah,
but then the Death Mask, the shit that dropped recently, just the stuff on there is just truth. Everything he spits on that is just fucking like
he's ridiculous.
Truth, man. He's crazy.
His pen game is just
ridiculous,
man. It's crazy.
He's doing something in the next few days, isn't he? Or is it July? He's doing a versus against somebody.
Yeah.
Give that a shout out.
What? Who is it?
I can't remember. I don't actually know the other person.
I do. I can't remember. Oh, who is it?
But anyway, that should be interesting.
That should be interesting. Yeah. So yeah.
Go to that.
Yeah. We've got a video dropping very soon for the 4 Flew Over project. Me, Filth Mitchell on OCD. That'll be coming out real soon.
I just love that name, Filth Mitchell. Fucking amazing.
Oh, he's dope. And all our accents are different. Ollie's got a very Kentish accent. Mine's a bit mixed. Whereas Filth Mitchell's straight up Greater Manchester.
Manny.
And we bounce off each other really well. We did a show up in Dalston and we fucking tore it down, absolutely tore it down together.
Yeah, the Jago.
Yeah, at the Jago in Dalston.
Where are you from originally then, Omus?
I was born in Bolton, Greater Manchester, and then I moved to Bethnal Green. In East London, and
home of the Craze Twins.
Home of the Craze, yeah. And then moved around Essex, like Pitsea, Basildon, Wickford, and then ended up in Folkestone. I don't know how I ended up here, but I'm here. Okay. So yeah, that's where I've got a bit of a mix. I don't have family down here. I've got brothers and sisters in Bolton and Manchester. All my cousins are in London and Essex still. So yeah, that's my origins. I'm a bit of a mutt where it comes to where I am and what I'm doing, and it helps me out as well because this is how I got into NSR. We made a mixtape called The Abominable Mic Man, and through a link of my cousins up Manchester, I saw this guy, but he weren't called Bamboo Hands at the time. Called something else, DJ Fidget, I think his name was at the time, and he said beat maker, producer. So I messaged him and I said, I'm in a group called Animated Spitters from Kent. Would you like to do a project? And he went, oh, is this you? And then put the link to my mixtape back to me. So he'd already heard us before I'd even messaged him.
Nice, man. Must have been validating, you know, a nice like moment for you.
Yeah, so that's where I've been able to get all over. And then obviously when I was with Sicka, I got in with all the Bristol lot, and
Devilman was on Sicka, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, man. Devs is a good guy, man. He's a real friendly dude. I've got a lot of time for Devs.
Talented guy as well, man.
Yeah, we've had a few good nights out. Raving and stuff. Funny. And
it's
Badness
crazy, man.
as well. Shouts to Badness. No, what are you?
So over the years, you've had some kind of crazy times. There's that footage of you and Skinnyman. Is it Boom Bap Festival where you're on the double-decker bus, just going back and forth?
Yeah, that was the last. No, that was in the radio van for Bottomless Crates. Big up Mark. I can't remember the other guy, but big up Mark and Bottomless Crates for that. The whole story behind that is a girl dumped me at the festival, and it was kind of like I wanted to escape from everyone. So in this radio van, they were doing the live. They were recording the whole festival and doing live sessions with the mic. So I think me and Brad Scrabble did one. Scrab's done one. That's where I met him. Me and Holly Flow Lightly done something, and then the night before, I lost my friends, and it was pissing it down with rain, and I heard this beeping, and I turned around, and it was this big green double-decker bus, and it was Skinnyman, and he was like, come in the rain, come in the rain. And it was the green room. It was a big green double-decker bus, was the green room. And there was also Ace, one of the ASAP dudes was in there as well. And I've gone in there, and this woman's gone, oh, you can't be in here, you can't be in here. And Skinnyman just said, oh, shut up, let him be in here. And then we had a smoke. And then the next day he was walking past the radio van. I said, Skinny, come in, get in here and do this. And that's how that happened, the back-to-back. And obviously that for me, I was like, right, well, I can give up now. Like,
yeah, man, I was going to say, you must have been gassed. Fucking hell.
I was gassed. You can tell on the video how gassed I am. I'm just looking in like amazement when he's spitting.
Yeah, I mean, considering you said like Council State of Mind was one of the first rap records you bought, UK hip hop records you bought, so kind of, and Skinnyman's a legend, man. Is like generally he's just kind of the embodiment of the MC, in my opinion. Like a true MC is just kind of, it just comes so naturally to him.
The years since, and he is generally a stand-up guy as well. Like, I think we've got a little something in the works.
So tell me, was that a highlight of your career then? The highlight or a highlight?
No, I've had many highlights. I shared a black cab back from a gig with Skepta once by chance.
Come on.
Blazed the joint with him. But that for me, because I was a grimehead, that was a bit more like I totally fanboyed.
Yeah.
On that one. I've had some crazy times. I on my 22nd birthday, I was with NSR obviously, and I rung Garth. I said, look, it's my birthday, is there anything going on? And he said, some of the boys are supporting Jeru The Damaja at Antwerp Mansion. So I've gone down there, I've taken one of my pals, and my mate was real drunk, and he kept on pissing everywhere in the fucking venue because it was a unisex toilet, and I don't know what you girls get up to in there, but unisex toilets are disgusting
because boys are in there.
Yeah, well, anyway, and I can see these bouncers walking around going, who the fucking hell's pissing around here? Fucking hell. I've turned around, I can see my mate pissing against the wall again, so I grabbed him by the scruff, seen a door in there because it is a mansion, and I pulled him in this room, shut the door, turned round, and in a wingback chair, candles everywhere, books, was Jeru The Damaja sitting on his own, and I ended up
like a green room kind of thing.
No, it was an old
candles
library.
And shit. That's amazing.
It's an old library, but there was candles. He had a bottle of brandy, and I ended up smoking and drinking brandy and freestyling with Jeru The Damaja.
Fucking hell, man! How'd you get into these situations? It's insane.
I everywhere I go, I get into these situations.
It's just an energy. Do you know what I mean? You're just kind of like, all right. Casual, Jeru The Damaja. But what do you reckon, like, like he's obviously got runners and stuff getting him stuff, and he's just like, just light some candles as well. Do you know what I mean?
He had it, and he had it real. It was pretty. I think it was the best green room I've ever been in, to be fair.
Decadent, man. Fucking fair play. Rewind though, man. You mentioned you had something in the pipeline with Skinnyman. You've got to elaborate a little bit. You've got to give me something there, man.
Yeah, well, we've got a track we're working on together for the album. It's one of the 3 left to do. So there's a track. I'm not quite sure what to call it yet. It's on a bit of a political vibe, but he's penning his verse for it, and that'll be coming out on the album. Also, we got Rye Shabby.
He's a don, man.
We got Motti on a track as well.
Oh, nice, man.
Is there anyone else?
He's a good don, man.
And OCD and Filth Mitchell. So I've got a good few features on that album.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna come out. It's gonna be good.
Talk a little bit more about the title of the album. I know you mentioned it earlier, but we were talking before we started recording. And the name and the meaning.
That's quite. Well, basically, it was. I went through a little bit of a hectic time in my life, and people were, oh, what you doing with yourself? Or da, da, da. I was kind of living life to the full, absolutely trying to just do everything and then I thought to myself, like, at the end of the day, and it's all said and done, can you really say you swung the slugger, as in the Louisville Slugger? Can you really say you swung that bat at life? And so I just changed it around a bit and like called it DASHWUNG SHLUGGER. It's the swung slugger. You know, it's like the metaphor for my life. I truly swung the slugger.
Yeah, man. No half measures, just kind of like measures. Burnt the candle both ends.
Am I done swinging the slugger?
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Nah, I don't think anyone really has, man.
But it has, yeah. So, you know, if people want someone to point the finger at, you got to point the finger at yourself and ask, have you swung that slugger?
It's a question for us all to think about. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm not too sure. I can't really. I need to think about that myself, man.
Swung the slugger, but with trepidation.
With trepidation, yeah. That's probably where I am. But so you've kind of worked with like various producers over the years and stuff. Obviously on Kangaroo Palace,
King
it was kind of King Bracket, and it was kind of a sole producer MC kind of dynamic. Is it the same on the new project as well, or have you got various producers on there?
I'm working with various producers on this. I've got 7 Cents, Pond Life. What's Louis?
Oh, he's not Louis.
we got Slipper Vegas from the Broodem as well. That's done a track which is actually a diss track. It's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek diss track. It's no like I'm gonna kill you kind of shit. It's
a little bit of banter.
It's just little bit of banter to like stoke the flames a little bit. I think it's getting a bit boring around here, so I'd put a little diss track up.
Is it targeted towards anyone in particular or a group of people?
Yeah, it's like we'll find out when it's.
All right, okay. Say no more. No, that can be fun though, man. Obviously, like hip hop beef.
It's nothing too horrible said in it. It's just a bit of it, as we say, a bit of banter. See what people say, and I loved it. I think that's what hip hop's missing a little bit these days. UK hip hop.
In UK, we say this quite a lot on the podcast, man. It's if it's kind of tongue in cheek and stuff, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's kind of more like the sportsmanship. You know what I mean? That healthy competition. It's not like drill or grime where people are sending for each other. It's kind of like
I've wrote a track against you and now I'm going to stab you. It's not that.
Yeah. It's just
if anything, it could put the other person on the map.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it is promotion for everyone as well. You know.
Yeah.
It's a bad press.
Yeah, man. Speaking of like UK dons at the moment, are you listening to anyone in particular, or when you're kind of in the zone making music yourself, do you tend to avoid that?
I've not listened to a lot of UK hip hop for quite a while. It sounds like my guilty pleasure is 21 Savage at the moment. To be fair.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really into that. And even what's the other guy's name? Not some of his stuff. Kodak Black, early stuff. Like I've got really into like new American hip hop again to a degree because some of it is garbage. You got to admit. But
it's subjective, right? I think some of it's just not for me. Do you know what I mean?
21 Savage is a savage, and I've been listening to him a lot at the moment. And then if I want to relax, then I'll listen to other genres of music. Like I'll just put on like some fucking Led Zeppelin or some fucking Bob Dylan or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I'll rate that. It's good to have kind of hip hop itself is derived from like a multitude of different genres all mashed together, right? So you need most people who are into hip hop have an appreciation generally for other genres of music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't draw my inspiration from other artists. I draw my inspiration from a lot of movies and stuff. I watch a lot of movies, books,
and your own experience.
And my own experience, obviously. The EP, I don't know if you know about it, that was on Lab Rat Records. It was Tales of the Omus One.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty much all inspired by a book called Number the Dust by Olga Heskey.
Okay, I've heard of the author. I haven't read the book though.
It's like pre-biblical kind of shit, like going back to the Tower of Babel and stuff like that, and all about a journey, as it were.
So I know you had that track more recently. Have you read the Bible? So
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
Yeah, I really liked it because it was nice and it was short, it was concise,
Nice.
and the visuals worked really well with it. It was kind of, I'm really into my kind of horror and my film generally as well.
Yeah.
So like good visuals in a video. Yeah, if something's kind of eye catching and it has kind of an esoteric quality to it, then I'm on board generally. So yeah, I fuck with it, man.
I enjoy. I liked the lyrics on that, and I thought it all went together quite well. That is going to be on the album. That's a track that's going to be on the album.
Nice.
Featuring OCD.
And that was
OCD.
Pond Life as well.
That was Pond Life.
Yeah. And that was a really short track. I think it was like a minute 45 or something. Is that indicative of the other tracks on the album, or is it varied?
No, it's varied, but I'm not going back to the Desert Sands kind of like 5-6 minute long tracks anymore. I'm going to kind of keep it for people's attention span these days. You know what I mean?
It's a valid point though, man. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of
if you can punch and hit hard in 2 minutes 50, I think it's the one. You know?
Yeah, for real. I think it's finding the balance as well. Like like the art of like songwriting, because some people you hear a lot of like very, very kind of short tracks and you think that was just bars throughout the entire thing. That it lacks any kind of structure, and they work in like a certain capacity kind of amongst other tracks. But if I'm listening to like an entire project, it's nice to hear, oh yeah, they've crafted a song really, really well there. You know, they've really thought about it. There's been kind of a beat switch, or there's a bit more kind of texture and a bit more content to it. But yeah, I think I really, really rated that track, man. I really like the subject matter. But going back to the author you were talking about, sorry, man,
Olga Heskey.
Cut you off there, yeah.
It's a story about Abram and like the Jews basically, but it goes into like Egypt and all sorts of stuff. It's just like a journey. I'm actually Jewish myself, blood, and it just all interests me. Stories like that, I think they all have a message behind them.
So is it fiction or non-fiction?
What?
The story.
Well, is it? Is the Bible fiction, non-fiction?
I don't know.
There you go. Like it's a story. It's a story, but I think it is historically accurate to some certain extent. It goes into when the Jews went into Egypt and different things like that. I mean, it's not a total like.
I think it gets metaphorical to some extent. You know,
that's what it is.
Yeah, you've got like the foundation of the story, like something happened, but then it's been kind of elaborated upon over the years and different interpretations. It's being kind of edited by committees and people. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of one of those, man.
And to use to control the masses. I just liked the journey part of it, and that is what I always like to do, because I think it's all about the journey. It's the path walked on. It's not really the destination,
Always, man.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride, and that's what I've been doing.
So what movies are you guys into? Because you mentioned that you like movies, man. What kind of films have you kind of derived inspiration from?
I can watch. I like, my dad got me into like some real good movies, like like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Clockwork Orange, Midnight Express. All the just it can go on and on, but then again I can switch off and I can put Dumb and Dumber on as well. So it's just one of them.
Yeah, it's I think it's just escapism, isn't it, watching a film? It's and some are classics for a reason.
Sometimes you watch a movie for escapism and then you end up reflecting on shit, thinking, I missed that.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. I also think like I talked about like horror films and stuff earlier. Because like monsters are just like metaphors as well. Like we're talking about metaphors and stuff like that. I just think there's a lot.
They exist.
Sorry.
Monsters exist.
In what respects?
Yeah, what respect about the monsters exist?
Well, I don't know. Like
there's plenty of human monsters.
There's definitely monsters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just in terms of like, you know, kind of mythical creatures and stuff. Typically, if they're in a film, it's kind of a metaphor, isn't it? Like for grief or for like something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like
representation.
Yeah, a manifestation of human emotion,
or a warning.
Warning. Yeah, I think following up from my album DASHWUNG SHLUGGER and the Four Flew Over project, I'm going to go and do a little bit of travelling, and then I'm going to put my concentration onto anime and AB.
Yeah.
Slippy Skills has got a video coming out through, he's putting an album out through Hellfire Corner, and he's got a video dropping very soon. So it's all going to be happening in the next couple of months. I've also got a cartoon video coming out. I've got an animator working on that now.
I think with like lockdown and everything, it's cool that, you know, creatives and rappers, producers, they can still, you know, make videos and kind of bring in, you know, different people from the creative community to get involved. And animated videos have just been like popping right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can kind of express different things visually that you couldn't otherwise. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's sometimes more interesting to look at.
Yeah, 100%, man. So when you said you were going travelling, is that just kind of like personal reasons, just to get away for a while and just?
Yeah, it's just to get away, and I've got some music links in Paris and Holland and Spain. I've got a producer out in Spain. I want to go and record an album with him, so I want to end up there. Just do stuff. Also, when I went to Australia, I met Diggis from the Corunde Hills.
Mm-hmm.
He's a producer and MC. You should check him out. He's got a recording studio in the middle of the tropical rainforest. It's insane. Like, you walk out of a studio and you're in the tropical rainforest.
Oh, amazing, man! A nice change of scenery from like
Kent,
you know what I mean?
It's on my little not bucket list. It's on my list of things to do in the next few years. But,
oh man, do you fuck with Australian hip hop generally? Because they have like grime and all sorts now, don't they?
Yeah, man, their grime and stuff's popping off. I was gonna have Diggis on Desert Sands, but Bamboo Hands ended up pulling it for some reason, which is a real shame. But I will be working with him in the future. He actually done on one of his EPs. Leaf Dog produced one of his EPs actually.
Oh, that man's prolific though, isn't he?
He gets about.
He probably forgets half the people he's produced for.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've never really out of everyone, I've never really had a relationship with Leaf Dog. It's always been a kind of, how's it going, you know what I mean? But no, he's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just work ethic, isn't it? He's constantly just
crazy.
He just lives it, doesn't he? He lives and breathes making beats.
That's exactly it. That's what you've got to do. You've got to sacrifice so much of your personal life to put into it, and that's where you've got to find the balance.
Yeah, man. I guess that like comes back to your album title, doesn't it? Swinging the bat. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, it all has to tie together.
Yeah, exactly that.
So good too.
Yeah, no, but yeah, break is good too. No, I just enjoy keeping busy. So you're not. I'm not going to go silent on you. I'm going to be around for a very, very long time.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear. So like, what do you think's going to happen with this like lockdown business in terms of like travel and all that kind of stuff? Because I know aren't they like quarantining people for like 14 days or something?
Yeah, we still don't know what's going on. We've been trying to get Phil Mitchell down to work on finishing the Four Flew Over album, and he's not been able to get down. He's looking to get down in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, because I think they've started coach travel up again, but they've changed the rules so you can't sit next to each other, or
you've got to wear masks.
You've got to do this, or I don't know. Coach travel's bad enough. Like,
it is, man.
I can't deal with that anymore. I've done my fair share of coach traveling.
It's weird though, because like with if you're like traveling economy on the plane, so it's probably not going to be at capacity, is it? You're probably going to have like sit a meter apart. So does that mean they're going to charge more for tickets because they're not at capacity? It's fucking crazy.
I really wouldn't know.
I don't know. I think a lot of the cheaper ones are probably going to go bust, and it's just going to be the big companies that will probably carry on going.
Yeah.
We're going to be. We might be prisoners in our own country for the next foreseeable future.
Oh no, it seems like it, doesn't it? It's just weird.
Hopefully not, because I want to get out and about.
Same, man. Same.
You do. But how are you keeping up in all of this?
Yeah, man. It's I mean, trying to keep busy with this. Like we've just been because normally the show, as you know, it's kind of we meet in person, like we all record together, bit of a vibe. So doing it on kind of doing it remotely, it does give you a bit more kind of flexibility, and you can talk to people who are like based up north and stuff. So it's better in that respect, but it's just you just need to keep creating. You need to keep doing something. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, you just you lose structure, and you just
There's only so much television you can watch as well.
100%, man. And I think
at the beginning, doing our show via the phone, and actually,
it's not been too bad.
Yeah, but now we're meeting up. Look.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like.
But it's been a bit awkward doing it via phone because the energy's different. To be able to talk with each other, but
no, the last few shows have worked quite good over the phone. Just being able to sit in bed and have it on loudspeaker.
Apart from the last one where then you dropped out, and I didn't know if you'd died.
I'd gone. No. But no, we're just keeping busy. Keeping it moving. You're going to see a lot from us over the next year.
Oh, that's good to hear, man. So have you got kind of a date in mind for the project, or are you keeping it under wraps for now?
I'm keeping it under wraps. I don't like to put a date on something until it's completely wrapped up and finished.
Yeah, man, that makes sense. I think there's so much to consider. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like promotion, marketing, distribution, all of that stuff. It doesn't come easily.
But as a new label, we've got to be learning as well. So we done the Kangaroo Palace and OCD's EP, and we've been kind of learning from them how to promote and what are the best ways.
While still not like losing the passion and making it worky. It has to still have that, like you were saying earlier, like that naivety, that passion, that love. Without it, when you start putting deadlines and stuff like that, and then there's pressure, which makes I don't like the word business. I like the word, so when it gets like that,
I guess it's like having a balance as well, isn't it?
It's when that's what. So I will stop rapping when I stop having fun.
I mean, stop enjoying it. Yeah,
that's enjoying it. I think I'm still enjoying it. I'm here. So.
I think that's it. Like when I say deadline, it doesn't necessarily have to be like what you put out to the world and you're kind of putting yourself under pressure and you're not enjoying it. But I guess you still need that balance of like.
How do you feel about your podcast? Like, do you put a lot of time in it? Because with our radio shows, I mean, if you've ever listened to one, you know, we mess up all the time. I mess up all the time.
That's real though, isn't it? Like that's
But I try to give myself too hard a time on that. And,
I'm actually quite surprised that we've not been booted off air with some of the things. I've dropped the C-bomb a couple of times.
And I think you even said like hijacking a bit of that album because they can't make enough money from selling stuff in Kent. You said something like that.
I can't remember. Yeah. I don't, when we have a drink and we just we end up waffling something.
Oh man, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's the good thing about doing a podcast is we can just like regulate the content. Do you know what I mean? It's like you just mark it as explicit when you upload it, and that's it. Whatever. The thing is, we when we were doing it before, like we got all the equipment, but it's kind of interspersed amongst each other at the moment. So we've had to resort to a more like unsophisticated setup. Do you know what I mean? But
I love that. I think that's the grounds of hip hop, personally.
Yeah, exactly. And people are more like forgiving because it's like, is what it is. Everyone's in it together, and it's escapism as well, isn't it? You just get to have a chat with people, and it's that's the best thing about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
totally.
It's a weird kind of it's kind of a weird concept though. You're like talking to a guy last week on an episode, and he's shouts to Crate 808. It's another podcast, and he's had some like crazy guests on his show, man. Like Pharaoh Monch, like DJ Premier, like fucking Eric Sermon. He's like smashing it, and he's a lovely, lovely guy. And he was just saying like, oh, it's a weird concept when you speak to people in the capacity of a podcast, like you interview them and you vibe off each other, and then afterwards he's just like, are we friends now? Like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like you've never met before.
Once you've swapped that much information about each other, you kind of are in a way.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. We're your friends.
Oh, it's good to know. It's good to know.
Well, always.
Please be my friend.
Shop from New York.
No, big up, guys. But before we kind of like wrap up, I wanted to know, like, if there was any artist you could work with, dead or alive, who would it be? Any musical genre?
Wow, that is a question. Alive, trim. Never gonna trim, never on a trim, never gonna trim. And I've got a trim like chemo. I love Trimble out of Roll Deep is my all-time favourite artist.
Amazing.
Don't know why, but he just is. So if I could work with Trim, I will do that.
That sounds like an achievable goal.
Yeah, it could be an achievable
because he's
goal.
alive.
Make it happen.
I'll make it happen. I don't know what he's doing these days, though.
Anyone dead?
Anyone dead? I can't really think, man. Like,
you don't have to answer. It was alive or dead.
Alive or dead? No, Trim. Definitely Trim.
All right, okay. Yeah, that's unconventional, but I rate it. Nice one.
I loved all his mixtapes. I thought he was so abstract and different with it. And his flow and the way he structured his lyrics has been a big influence on me as well.
Yeah.
You
do
know?
you see yourself, obviously, like conceptually, you're rapping about kind of different things and you're inspired by various books and films and stuff like that. Do you ever kind of revisit any of your old material and think like, how much you've changed? Or is it once you're done with a project, you're like, nah.
100%. I think my earlier stuff, I never thought I was good enough. So I think you've got to have the confidence. When you know you're good, that's when you're good.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to know that you're good to be good. And you can always tell when someone's unconfident. And it took me a couple of projects to really get into myself. Become Omus One.
Where does the name come from, Omus One?
I used to write graffiti and I used to write sumo, and one of my pals got caught and he was like, they know who we all are, we're all gonna get nicked. So half of us were good enough to change their names. I was only good at them letters, so I just turned it round to Omus. That's as simple as that. And then I carried on.
It's nothing to do with the Beatle.
But it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing to do with it. I'm a fan of this grapher called Omus One. I don't know who he is, but I'm a fan.
Did you tell me somebody else took Omus One once?
Yeah, no, this guy from New York took Omus, and then I kind of like out materialized him, and then he left and went.
So I wonder what name
if you Google Omus One or go on YouTube and type in Omus One, I'm the only Omus One ever for pages and pages and pages. That's the beauty of having a kind of made up name. If you want to give it some meaning, it can mean only maneuver under shadow.
Okay, yeah, I'll remember that. That's a good acronym, man.
It is.
Yeah. In terms of like your like discography so far, is there any particular project you're most proud of, or is it always like your latest project?
I liked all the stuff I did with Critical Troubadour, so Escape 57.
That was sick, man.
And Zombie Nostrils before, which had like Other Word, Surpassing Expectations, all that stuff I really, really loved, because he's such a crazy producer. You won't get a guy sounding like him ever. The equipment he uses and the sources he gets his samples from, he's just so unique.
We've got a special of his coming up this Friday, actually.
We've got a radio special coming up.
Of all his old stuff, we're trying to bring him out for it. Is he in retirement, or is he just having?
He's not in retirement. He stopped rapping, and he just started and just kept with the producing. But I think he's starting to do a few more bits now. He was like my older.
Yeah.
They were the rap crew. AMS were the rap crew in Folkestone. So I was like 14, 15, and like seeing them do their kind of stuff. Didn't quite understand it all the time. But big up to Critical Troubadour. He's a dope producer. He actually come really close to winning a beat battle at Boom Bap, one of the Boom Baps. Who's the guy that done the Cracker John? Can't take the cracker out of Croydon. Too Late.
Yeah.
I think he beat Too Late, or it was a very, very, very close. So Pat. Stop calling him Pat. Critical Troubadour. Check him out. His beats are very, very unique.
He's got a very unique flow
very
as well,
unique.
I think.
Well, yeah, man. I listened to Escape 57 and I rated it. So I mean, what's that track? I was going to ask, like, what is the concept behind like the number 57?
It was a block of flats that I lived in, where a load of crazy shit happened.
Yeah.
Like stuff that can't really be talked about sometimes. It was just like a madhouse. We had it was just a crazy time in my life, and it was about escaping that part of my life. So I escaped 57.
And moved into Kangaroo Palace.
And then moved into an even worse place, yeah. So, but it was about escaping that whole road, like getting involved with like gangsters and shit, and
man,
individuals.
But as you say, I mean, it's like writing from life experience.
Exactly.
It's good that you're able to kind of like take a bad experience and manifest it into something creative, man.
Yeah, there's a video called Paper Street on YouTube, and that's from the album. And I'm walking down Brockman Road, and the steps that I'm sitting on in the beginning is number 57. So I stand up.
That bar in it. You ain't fucking with this jam roly poly. I was just
that's because I've got Polish in me as well, and that's what they used to call us on the building sites.
Is it?
People call jam roly poly. So you ain't fucking with this jam roly poly. I step into the party, still be damn sure you know me.
I feel like I've learned something today. I've learned a lot, and this is like another great thing about doing this. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy, man. I never knew that was like a.
What, jam pony?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a slur, if you want to call it that. It's a bit of a slur, like. But if you've worked on building sites, especially in London, it's all banter and it's all laugh, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm allowed to say it because I've got Polish heritage.
Exactly, man. But no, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Before we wrap up, is there anything you want to plug? I know we talked about the project coming up, or is there anyone you want to shout out?
I want to shout out to everyone on Hellfire Corner. So Filth Mitchell, OCD, Anime, AB, Slippy Skills, all the affiliates, Miss Murphy for like keeping us together all this time, and Sam Mora, Seaview Studios, and everyone else on my journey. You know, we've been through stuff. So big up Chris Sicker, big up Lee Broad, big up all the CNT lot, big up Backward Sun, big up everyone. You know what I mean? It's what it is.
Bless, man. Where can people?
Shotgun the York.
Yeah, big up You're
Big
thank
up,
you for
man.
having.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And you'll be the first to get the projects as they drop.
Oh yeah, man. We'll put it on Smash. In the meantime, where can people find your music, man?
Bandcamp, Hellfire Corner Records, Bandcamp.
And there's a YouTube channel as well.
We've got a YouTube channel, SoundCloud. Just type in Hellfire Corner Records. We're the only ones there. There's no one else you can confuse us with.
Nice one, man.
And as I say, if you wanted to go on to Sicker Records, Bandcamp, Abrat Records, Bandcamp, just there.
And even the Animated Spitters is on YouTube.
And Animated Spitters is on YouTube.
Sorry, man. Do you mind just saying that last bit again? Your internet paused a bit. So if you just repeat where you can find your music and your stuff on social media.
Yeah. So yeah, just the Hellfire Corner Records Bandcamp. We got SoundCloud. Just if you want to check out Omus One, just type in Omus One on Google or YouTube, and I'm the only one in the world. There ain't another Omus One.
And then there's obviously the Facebook and Instagram pages
the one,
as well.
and there's a Facebook. I'm Omus Solomon's on Facebook if anyone wants to hit me up. Wants to be my friend, yeah. And go follow the Hellfire Corner Records Instagram as well. Go follow that.
And
that's full of the information that's coming out.
Make sure you do that, guys. Omus, Amanda, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you guys. It's Shotgun the Orcs at Shotgun the Orcs, all platforms. This will drop on YouTube and all digital platforms as well. Yeah. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you stay safe.
Mate. Sweet.
Keep us in the loop with this as well. And we'll have to link when lockdown drops, man.
Yeah, we'll have to meet up for a drink.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Take care. Peace.
Bye.
See ya.